What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in. It's 1TS Daily live right here at One True Sport. How's it going? Hopefully you're staying warm, or hopefully you're just in a warm place because it's like the Hoth system from Star Wars out here in Chicago today. Absolutely freezing, like -10 or something crazy like that. So I am glad to be inside in a cozy little, this is not really an office, but it's like, it's like a study. It's like a study here in the building that I work in. So pumped to be here. It's Tuesday, January 21st, 2025. And of course, this is 1TS Daily. We are here to talk the news of the day in professional wrestling and so much more with you. So if you're watching on YouTube, hello, hello. If you're watching on Twitter, hello, hello, hello. Thanks so much for being here. We appreciate you, and I appreciate you pressing play on this show. My name is Zack Heydorn. I am from Wrestling Media and from Sports Illustrated, and we do this show every single day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, with you. And I've got the live chat open right now, so you can jump on in there and get the conversation going. If you want to ask a question, I'll get to it. If you want to make a comment on something that I'm saying, I'll get to that too. I'll do my best. Anyway, sometimes we get a ton of live chat comments and I can't keep them up. So if you want to make sure that I do, use the super chat feature and contribute a little coin to the show. And I certainly would appreciate that. Any contribution would be amazing. And thank you in advance for that. A little bit more about Wrestling Media in a little bit here and the partnership that it has with One True Sport. But let's say hello to some live chatters. E is in the live chat, and he has a comment here about the New Day. The New Day are so great as heels. I thought Penta would save Ray. I forgot about the LWO. Yeah, more on Penta in a little bit. But thanks so much, E, for joining the show. Matthew's here and says WWE Saturday Night's Main Event is on Netflix in the UK this weekend. I'm excited for this one. Yeah, you should be. It should be a good event. It should be a good show. Man, it's so cool that it's on Netflix there. I don't know. Yesterday, actually, funny story. So yesterday, I was a little bit late to start Raw, and I logged on to the to YouTube TV actually, and and was searching for Raw like on the USA Network, and I was like, I can't find it. Like, what the heck's going on? And then finally I was like, oh man, Netflix. So I haven't done that yet until yesterday. So yeah, it'll be nice when all things WWE are on Netflix, but hey, it makes for good stories. Thanks, Matthew. The boss is in the live chat. Congrats on the new head coach. Hey, yeah. Did the Bears do something right? I mean, history would tell you no because it's the Bears, but Ben Johnson to the Bears, head coach. I mean, it's a hot hire. All the buzz in the world. So, I think I like it. I don't trust it, but I like it. Right now. Boss also says, where's Dragon Lee? Yeah, well, $1 million question. More on him in a minute. David's in the live chat. I'm definitely looking forward to Saturday Night's Main Event. Yeah, it's a cool show. It's a cool show to have back. Like, I mean, whenever WWE is got those primetime things, I'm with David. Like, it's a pretty fun deal. So yeah, should be a good weekend. We'll preview Saturday Night's Main Event right here on Friday's show on 1TS Daily. We'll preview the whole show as much as we can with what we know, and then so we have that to look forward to for Friday right here on the show. Cool. All right, so let's start with Raw. And I thought last night was a pretty good episode of Raw. Like, it was more like last week's episode than the January 6th episode of Raw, of course. But it's still a fun watch start to finish. I mean, think about what you got on this show. You got a pretty good promo segment opening between Jey Uso and Gunther. You had the Sami Zayn promo with Kevin Owens. You had CM Punk on the microphone with what I thought was a heck of a promo. More on him in a minute. You got a pretty good Bayley versus Nia Jax match, and then you got the main event. Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Not to mention Then you had Penta on the show, so that's fun. So it's like it's a fun, smooth, 2-hour plus show. And as I said last week, if WWE can make a like Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre match feel really big and feel really important and have that main event Raw, that's a win. That's a huge win because they got 52 of them that they have to do. And so you have to you got to be able to get something out of quote unquote mid-card or upper mid-card matches. Like you have to be able to do that. And if you can do that and make those come across like a big time main event, then you're doing your job. And I think they are in this case. And this week's a perfect example. CM Punk, I think is finding his groove, and he's finding his groove. I almost just spilled the sponsor coffee. Look at this. 1TS Daily, brought to you by Starbucks, unofficially. Hopefully officially sometime soon, but here, cheers to you guys this morning. Caffeine's flowing. Okay, CM Punk. When he first came back, it seemed like he was, I don't know, not trying to like remember how to do a WWE promo again, but just trying to find his voice in 2024 at the time, WWE. Like he had been gone for a long time. Game has changed. He's not really like the guy you look at anymore for being like, the anti-WWE corporate guy, because like he's not that guy anymore. I mean, he's very much in the mix, like pro WWE, one of the highest paid guys, featured guys. So like, he couldn't have like that same type of anti-WWE messaging, which was so much of what he was when he was in WWE the last time people saw him. Like that was his shtick. In AEW, that was his shtick. When he wasn't wrestling at all, that was his shtick. I mean, so much of his persona and his character is rooted in kind of like anti-WWE, and he's not that anymore. So he had to find something new, or he had to tap into something different in regards to that character and that personality. And I think he's really hitting his groove right now. Like the messaging of like, hey, it's good to be alive in whatever city. And hey, I'm CM Punk. I'm the best in the world. I turn it on when the lights are bright. Like, and I'm going to win the Royal Rumble. Like, I think like that simple, straightforward messaging, it allows for it just allows for him to just be more of like a regular babyface in WWE that people like, right? Like I think he doesn't have, when he's doing that character, he doesn't have to be something more than that. He doesn't have to be something bigger than that. There doesn't have to be like an underlying theme to what he does. It's just, I'm the best and I'm going to win the world title and I'm going to win the Royal Rumble. Like, look, he has to be on the short list to win this and he's going to have a big match at WrestleMania. There's no question about that. But the promo this week was fiery. He was fired up. He had a little bit of attitude behind him. He said all the right things. The crowd was with him. He threw Hulk Hogan under the bus, which is always, fun in my book. And really, Punk is, and I said this on the Brass Free Media YouTube channel yesterday during the show, and hopefully you guys all go and subscribe to the Brass Free Media YouTube channel. Like, we would love to have you there and to check out some of the stuff that we put out. So hopefully you guys do that. But he laid it on the line and he put his neck out there and cut a very fiery promo. And he made people care about his journey in the Royal Rumble itself, and what the Royal Rumble win means for whoever wins it. I think his promo elevated all of that. So this was a good night at the office for CM Punk for sure. And for that matter, like broadly speaking about the Royal Rumble, it was a really good night at the office. You know, you had Sami Zayn out there declaring, talking about it, what it means to him. You already know Drew and Seth are both in it. So you had added build there. You've got now the controversy because of the finish or the way the show went off the air with Sami Zayn kicking Seth Rollins. Got a little bit of a story there between those two guys for the Rumble. Not to mention John Cena looms, Roman Reigns looms, you know, that's all there. So it was a good night for men's Royal Rumble hype, starting with CM Punk. Let's move on to the Sami Zayn segment. Probably the second best segment on the show, minus after CM Punk. And you can't it's just so fun to watch Kevin Owens and Sami do their thing. You know, like, I don't know that this promo didn't reinvent anything. It's not, you know, it wasn't like out of the box. It was just right in the box, right in the pro wrestling box. But people care about these two characters so much, and they care about their friendship and their story together and their history together so much that they can just twist the audience's feelings and emotions into knots over really anything, because they've set the foundation so well because of that history. As Eddie says here in the chat, thanks Eddie for joining today. Eddie says, loved how KO pulled Zayn's heartstring. Yeah, like they're able to do that because they've just put so much into this relationship over time. And then, yeah, Sami's got to remember how many times Owens has turned on him. I mean, Sami hasn't been an angel in that relationship either. But the point is, they've put in the effort, and now they can like put those two out there anytime they need them, and they can work and make magic together. And last night was really fun because you know Kevin Owens is the heel, right? But he doesn't think he's the heel. He doesn't think he's the bad guy. There's the ambulance, you know, for the. I swear it's like clockwork. They wait for me to hit record, and then they drive by. So which one of you guys out there listening has the nearby Chicago hospitals on speed dial to make them to prank me into doing this? It's incredible. It's incredible. So I really like the segment. I like Kevin Owens leaning into being a heel, telling Sami what Sami wants to hear in terms of his belief in him, but also like, hey, you know, and help me win my match against Cody, and you know, we can main event WrestleMania together, like we've always talked about. Like, there's an element of gaslighting there that Owens is perfect at kind of stringing through his promo, and I thought this was a really good example of that, and a good night for him too. Saturday night's main event is Saturday, and the big Raw match. Well, there's two big Raw matches actually, but the first one, Jey Uso versus Gunther. Pretty paint by numbers segment, I think, between them this week. You had Jey, you know, present himself as like the guy that's going to beat Gunther, he held the World Heavyweight Championship over his head on the show. That's never a good sign for you. That's never a good sign for you, you know, going into a show. I bet I don't have any math on this. I don't have any math like done, no data, but my gut feeling tells me that over 90% of people, especially baby faces, that have held up, and heels too probably, that have held up the championship they were going for on the television show right before the big event or the big match, losers. Not losers, them, but they lost the match. So not great if you're Jey. But, I mean, how many people – I don't think anybody really buys Jey winning on Sunday or Saturday. But he did enough in the promo to make you get behind him, you know? And I think that's the key. Like, can you get people to invest in the match? I think they did. Let's get to a really nice super chat here from David. David says here, your next Starbucks is on me. This cup is for E. That guy is all in on getting the sponsorship. Hey, man, yeah, he is. E, we appreciate this. Tags Starbucks in some of these 1TS Daily posts on socials. You never know what they're going to see. And so we got to make this happen. We got to make this happen as a group. If we get it, reinvest the dollars like into the show, into One True Sport, maybe do some big like event somewhere or something. Like we'll figure something out so that we can all reap the benefits. But yes, Starbucks, unofficial sponsor of One True Sport, TS Daily. I love it. Thank you, David, man. It means a lot. I'm trying to follow along here in the live chat. I hope your back is doing well, and hopefully you get some good news on Friday, like you mentioned here. Really, thinking of it, man. Thinking good thoughts. Let's see. I want to get this. There was another live chat here that I definitely wanted to get to. That's all right. I'll find it in a little bit. And then the other big match for Saturday Night's main event, Rhea Ripley against Nia Jax. And this one I'm less high on. I mean, yeah, they had a pretty good brawl segment this week on Raw, and it was what it was. But just, I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but it feels like we've just been here before with it. We've been there, done that. Like, it just seems like we just did this feud between the two of them, and now we're back to doing it again. And so I don't know. It just it's fine. The match is going to be good. I think Rhea and Nia know how to work that match. I think they know exactly what gets the pops. They know what gets the big reactions. They know the psychology behind the match, what it needs to be. I mean, like it's that one. It's not rocket science. That one's not rocket science. But yeah, I mean, I think again, you gotta have these stronger opponents for these new champions that you have crowned. Like it's just, I don't know. Like again, nothing wrong with Nia, but she's not like a hot opponent for Rhea Ripley. So this screams like holding pattern until WrestleMania feud becomes available or shine, like starts to shine. Yeah, that's what this is. Who enjoyed Penta's debut this week? Or not debut, second match after his debut? Because I certainly did. I thought it was a heck of a showing from him. And again, like an even bigger presentation this time, in terms of his entrance and how they talked about him. So, and the crowd, I mean, if you doubt it, go back and watch that crowd. They were reacting to him in a big way, connected, invested in him winning. So week 2, really, really good, really, really good week for Penta. Yeah, I think they got something there. I really think they got something there, and provided they keep rolling with it, and provided they can get him into some meaningful feuds, he's gonna have a nice run here. He's gonna have a nice run with WWE and Paul Levesque behind him. I think he's got the charisma that they're looking for. Charisma that like a Dragon Lee didn't have. Dragon Lee's a good pro wrestler, a good worker, a good hand, exciting at times in the ring, but the charisma and personality just isn't there. With Penta, man, it's there, and the wrestling comes with it, and that's the formula that you're looking for with any wrestler. Not just a luchador type wrestler. Any wrestler, you're looking for that. You're looking for that combination. And I think Penta definitely has it. Let's go back to your initial question here, or initial point. The New Day are so great at heels. I thought Penta would save Ray. I forgot about the LWO. Yeah, so you had Ray get the roll-up win on the New Day, or on Kofi Kingston. And the beatdown segment afterwards, of course, you had the LWO run out to make the save. So they're going to build to LWO and New Day. So I get, you press the buttons that you needed to in order to get to that match, and that's what's coming. But you still had Kofi Kingston lose. First time out, or close to, as part of this new gimmick. I would have gone about that differently. I would have gone about that a different way. Honestly, I would go about this whole New Day heel thing in a different way. Like I just think that now Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, after that first time out there getting booed so bad, they're out there trolling, and they're not out there necessarily being bad guys. Like, I think it'd be much more efficient to present them in a way that makes them seem like they're coming together as a team. They shed Big E and they're focused, and now they're beating everybody. And you don't have that when you have them losing. And yeah, they're going to beat the LWO. That's what happens with the LWO, but it doesn't mean anything. I think establishing them as dominant characters is more important than the trolling and the kind of on-demand booing that they get. You gotta create something out of that. And they really haven't taken things the next step yet. They got plenty of time, but I thought it's been like a misstep the last couple of weeks. Like, it seems like Triple H and company are just like, oh, the booing's cool, the crowd engagement is cool, let's just go with that. But you need to have layers. You need to have what's next after that, and you need to have that matter, and that means something. And I don't think they've really found that next step quite yet. Thanks, E. All right, Dooms is coming to us from Twitter and says, do we think the kind of injection of talent coming in from TNA might bolster the mid-card and help push some of the prominent folks from the WWE mid-card into the main event? I do, potentially. I mean, and it's a great question, Dooms, because it kind of, like, I think what Triple H is kind of creating is, an avenue which he always talked about, even back in the day when he was a wrestler. Like, all you got to do is get over. You get over, we'll push you. And I think he's loading up this mid-card with talent like Penta. Maybe somebody like a Josh Alexander's coming in. The women's division, Jordan Grace will be there. Like, you're getting a lot of competition for spots. And, conceivably that'll bring out the best in everybody. So, yeah, you're going to see some WWE mid-card folks that are in the mid-card, test out in the main event. I think if you see TNA stars come over, like Jordan Grace, she comes over and she makes a big splash and she gets over with the audience, like, she's going to get a big push. Like, I think that, it seems to me that Triple H is going to listen to the audience and push the people that are getting strong reactions. And that's what you want in pro wrestling. Like, I don't get the sense necessarily. I mean, obviously you have to pick your people too. You got to pick people to push, whether, you got to go with somebody, right? And good bookers make the right calls there, and they know how to make stars. Like, all that's there. But a big part of booking is listening to the crowd reactions. And so I think Paul Levesque so far has done a really good job. When you look up and down the card, there's not a lot of people that are misclassified, heel or babyface. Everybody's pretty much aligned the right way. And so I think he's got a pulse on that. And I think, he's going to use this talent coming in, if they come in, to bolster that and to give him more options, more pieces on the game board. Dooms, thank you so much for joining the show. Appreciate you, man. I'm glad you joined in. Hope you're able to tune in live again. All right, so that's Raw. Let's quickly look at tonight's episode of NXT. Only 2 matches announced tonight, but they're both championship matches. We got Obafemi versus Eddie Thorpe for the NXT Championship, and then we've got Ridge Holland challenging Tony D'Angelo for the North American Championship. Both matches that I think are worth checking out. I think are worth going out of your way to check out. The Obafemi Eddie Thorpe match. I've been high on Eddie Thorpe for a while, as you know, if you listen to this show. So it's cool to see him get that spot as a heel. Obafemi's going to win this. We know that. He just won the title. He's not losing it anytime soon. And I think Tony D'Angelo is going to win too, unless Tony is, got a main roster, promotion waiting for him. I think the outcome of this match will tell us that one way or the other. But both these matches, I think, will be good in their own, NXT way. Like, this won't be Kenny Omega against Will Ospreay, but it doesn't need to be in order for it to be fun to watch. So we'll review NXT tomorrow on the show like we always do on Wednesdays, and we'll also preview preview AEW. Corey Graves, not expected to return to NXT this week. PW Insider is reporting that he, will have a second week off after not being on the air last week. He will not be on the air this week as well, and this all stems back from his meltdown on social media last week. Pertaining to his spot on the card. So no Corey Graves. If you were planning on watching NXT to see him, I have bad news. Boss asks here off topic, is Medusa's podcast still in the 1TS family? Yes, it is. We haven't had any new episodes in a little bit, so I'm not sure what the scheduling holdup is there, but yes, it definitely still is, and I'm sure it'll be back soon. Good question, boss. Eddie says here, I wouldn't want to work with Booker T either, pertaining to Corey Graves. Yeah, Corey. I mean, yeah, nobody should, but if that's your job and that's what you're told to do, you kind of have to do it. Eddie says here, I'm on Corey's side, and it's not that I'm not on Corey's side. I think it sucks, like what happened to him, but at the same time, sometimes business is business, and it's a tough business, man. I mean, it's a tough business, and he's definitely getting a raw deal. I mean, there's no question about it, but what do you do with that? Yesterday, if he hadn't have done that, he would probably been on the air last night, with Michael Cole instead of Wade Barrett. I mean, so he's got to weigh his options, but I usually land in the camp of, as I said last week, tough situation, but you got to do your job and prove him wrong. So we'll see what happens. All right, guys, thank you so much. Fun show. You guys are the best. Thanks to the boss. Thanks to Eddie. Thanks to E. Thanks to David and Dooms and everybody else who joined the live chat. Appreciate it. Brass Ring Media. Check it out. It's my shop that I run. You can subscribe on YouTube to our YouTube channel. All of our live shows are now here on One True Sport, but you can get them all as podcasts. You can get them all as audio podcasts if you just subscribe to Brass Ring Media, our audio feed, which is available wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe there. You can also check out our written work on Substack. We got some strong and what I believe to be the best, written analysis of pro wrestling out there today. It's free for you on Substack. So just head over to Brass Ring Media Substack, subscribe, and you get all this content right into your inbox. If you want a little bit more, you can check out our membership options on Patreon, patreon.com/Brass Ring Media. Membership comes with member-only podcasts, pay-per-view and PLE review shows, and so much more. So check it out, patreon.com/Brass Ring Media. I hope everybody has a wonderful Tuesday. Stay warm if you're cold. I'm going to try. And we'll talk to y'all tomorrow right here at 1TS Daily on One True Sport. I'm Zack Heydorn. We'll talk to y'all real soon. See ya.